going on? Welcome back to my channel. Imagine you being a young teenager, you're 16, 17 years old, and the only thing you could think about is maybe playing video games, playing a sport or something like that, talking to girls or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just enjoying life. And next thing you know, you find out you got a skill, as in you being a want to be a rapper, you know, and you just like having fun rapping and stuff like that. The next thing you know, besides being a rapper, you want to be a gangster also. Being a gangster as in you want to kill somebody, which is crazy, you know. And a lot of teenagers don't think like that. But in this instance right here, man, Take K, he's a rapper. And this is a sad situation, all the way around. And so, besides that, you starting your career as a rapper, you also want to do some crazy thing, as in rob somebody and somebody getting killed. Yeah, that's what happened. I know everybody done seen in the last few years that, he been in jail for a while now, you know what I'm saying? And now he's back on trial again for another murder that he did, allegedly. You know what I mean? He already serving like 55 years in prison, for this first murder that he did with some friends and stuff. And it was a botched home invasion. I guess they was gonna rob the people, steal the drugs, the money and whatever, but somebody ended up getting killed, and that's why he was sentenced to 55 years. And this happened in 2016, 2017. And now today, well, a few days ago, that court started, and he's on trial again. And I really wasn't gonna really pay attention to it, you know what I mean? Because it's sad, you know what I mean? Because the guy already about to do about 55 years. So this right here, if he found him guilty, he gonna end up doing life. So it's sad, but then again, it's like, can you really be sorry for this kid? He's not a kid no more, but can you really be sorry for him? Because he did the crime, you know what I'm saying? The first one, and he was found guilty. So it's like, how sorry can you be? But let's listen to the news and go from there.
Trial of rapper Tamor McIntyre has entered its third day of testimony. He's on trial for the 2017 murder of a San Antonio photographer. News 4 San Antonio's Mariah Medina has been following this case and has more today from the courtroom.
This was the path apparently taken by the suspects, which I was trying to document through video.
Crime scene video and testimony from investigators are what jurors saw during day 3 of testimony in the capital murder trial of Tamor McIntyre. McIntyre, a rapper who goes by TK, is alleged to have fatally shot San Antonio photographer Mark Anthony Saldivar in 2017 after stealing his camera gear, according to prosecutors. Investigators who took the stand today testified what surveillance video captured in the parking lot of a Northside Chick-fil-A where Saldivar was found.
You could see a black car enter the parking lot of the Chick-fil-A. It appeared the complainant was on the hood of the car, and then the front passenger exits the vehicle, and he appeared to have a white shirt, and then you see the complainant fall off the hood of the vehicle, and then the black car takes off. The passenger got back in the car, and then the vehicle takes off behind the Chick-fil-A.
Saldivar died at the scene, marijuana apparently stuffed in his mouth. Witnesses testified over the last 2 days they saw Saldivar fighting with others in the car before he was pushed out and got onto the hood of the car. Attorneys for McIntyre say despite witness accounts and video, prosecutors failed to show that McIntyre was a gunman or that a robbery occurred. The trial is expected to last another week. Because McIntyre was under 18 at the time of the shooting, if convicted, he faces a maximum of life in prison. Mariah Medina, News 4, San Antonio.
Like I say, man, wild situation. He was a kid at the time, but he was already on the run for another murder. And during the time that he was on the run, like I say, he's a rapper. He made a song. I think it's called "The Race," and it was on the top Billboard charts. You know what I'm saying? Really making noise in the music industry. But he was on the run for murder, so it's like he couldn't really celebrate his fame of finally making it as a rapper, you know what I mean? And really doing something positive, as in trying to get yourself out of bad situations and your family out of bad situations, and maybe getting a big record deal. But like I say, he was on the run for another murder. So it's like, you're going to get arrested and you're going to really do a lot of time. So what are we doing? So now during the trial, his girlfriend at the time got on the stand, and yeah, it was pretty sad.
He asked us if we could reschedule for the day and if we can give him a ride to North Star. So I agreed and I said, okay, that's fine.
Okay. And so you were still going to give him a ride to North Star Mall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so on the way to North Star Mall, what happened?
We hit the light at McCullough, and Tamar took out his gun and pointed it at Mark and asked for his bag. Mark refused to give him the bag, so they all started hitting him, and Tamar was hitting him with the gun. And the whole time I didn't look back, but when I did, I saw his face. And I started telling them to let him go. And I just kept screaming, let him go. And Jalen opened the door and started pushing him out. And he was fighting to get back in the car. And then I didn't let him in the car. So he went around the car and he jumped on the hood. And then the light turned green.
Okay. I'm going to stop you right there, okay?
Okay.
So when you all were at the light on McCullough, you said Tamor produced his gun, correct?
Yes.
And who did Tamor have the gun pointed at?
Mark.
And what was Tamor saying when he had the gun pointed at Mark?
To give him his bag.
And so once the light turned green, what happened?
He pointed the gun at me and told me to start driving. So I started driving. I didn't know where to go. So I turned into the first place that I saw, which was the Chick-fil-A. Once I turned into the Chick-fil-A, he kept yelling at me to get him off the car. I didn't know how to, so I was just going back and forth really quickly. And then Mark kicked the windshield and opened the door and shot him.
Okay.
He just
All right. So when you were in the Chick-fil-A parking lot and Mark was on the hood of the vehicle, who was sitting in the front passenger seat of the vehicle at that time?
Tamor.
What did you observe Tamor McIntyre do from the front passenger seat?
He shot him.
How did Tamor, did he exit the vehicle or did he roll the window down? How did he shoot?
Yeah, he opened the door and leaned out on one leg.
Now, do you see the person that shot Mark Anthony Saldivar in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please point to him and identify him by the article of clothing he's wearing?
He's wearing a white shirt.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant, Tamor McIntyre. Now,
Wow. Wow. That was very sad. She's on the stand crying. Allegedly that was his girlfriend. And we all seen the video that how it really went down. You know, he's guilty, man. I mean, let's be honest. He's not really getting out. You know what I mean? Like I said in the beginning, like this whole situation is sad for everybody. You know, and it's really sad because this young kid had a future. You know, so really seeing this kid now from the pictures right here and seeing him now in court as a grown man, it's like, dang, yo, being a gangster, man, it's not fun for nobody. You know what I'm saying? You got a future ahead, 16, 17 years old, man, doing stupid stuff, being a killer. It's sad, man. But then again, it's like, can you really be sorry for this guy? You know, like you do the crime and you do the time. But that's all I got for now. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the whole situation, yo. I know the trial gonna continue to go on. Haven't found a verdict yet. So the trial is still going on. So we gonna see, man. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, yo. Don't forget to like, subscribe.